In your operation, where is the trim tab? You're all with me so far? Yeah? Sorry that I am standing between you and your lunch. So we will do a customer journey. This is, how many of you have done customer journey maps? Okay, so how many of you have done any other process flow map? Okay, good. This is more or less similar, but you are just mapping the steps of the customer, and I choose a restaurant journey. You decide on the cuisine, look for the restaurant, travel to the restaurant, park the car, wait to be seated. What are the next steps? Just tell me what would happen next, just like that. Yeah, you have to ask for the menu. Wait to be seated, you have to be seated, then you ask for the menu and so on. In the interest of time, we actually do this in round robin and figure this out quickly, but there's not enough time. So these are all the steps. Okay? The 6th step, eat food, wait, after sitting, decide on the order, wait, blah, blah, blah. You do this customer journey map. This is the first step in figuring out where the trim tab is. Now we have in the journey 3 types of signals that we say, performance under supply. The first one is negative emotion. In your restaurant journey, where will you see negative emotion? Long wait time. Quality of the food itself. Any other? Not friendly staff, price, all that. The turnaround time, which is how long you have to wait for your order, waiting to be seated. The third one we came up with, this very interesting, you might not have come across this before. We call this opposers intention. I'll give you an example of that. Let's say that I am hosting 15, 20 of you and I'm taking you to the Ethiopian restaurant in Chennai called Abyssinia. How many of you have been there? Okay, very good. So now I take you to this Abyssinia restaurant, okay? And why would I take you to Abyssinia restaurant? Because I want you to experience a new cuisine. Now you look at this journey and which step there will be problems. What to order, exactly. This, decide on the order. You have no idea what this Ethiopian cuisine is, you have never eaten before. Now you have these helpful descriptions. For example, in America, in an Indian restaurant, you will see this. Deep fried lentil and rice balls soaked in something. What is that? Sambar vadai. If you can guess that from that description. So these descriptions are not very helpful. So the first step you get stuck. Now if you are an Ethiopian restaurant owner, what innovation could you bring at that point? Pictures, that's already there. Now we are thinking digital, remember? What are restaurants today doing? Videos, you have seen iPads being passed around these days. So we quickly identified a problem and we can solve it with technology. That's what we are trying to do. So take these things and we plot these into what we call as this performance under supply X-ray. How bad is this experience? And a step, those blocks are the step numbers. Anything that is appearing in all the 3 swim lanes likely is a trim tab. So this is how you will find your trim tab. Now I chose the restaurant for an important reason. Can anybody guess why I chose a sit-down kind of restaurant's customer journey? It's lunchtime. Sorry, I didn't know that. I know lunch is weighing heavily on your minds. I'm sorry. Most of us would have experienced that. That's true. But there's another more important reason. No. You see those words there? What does that mean? That customer journey represents the established wisdom of that industry. You can go to a sit-down restaurant in any part of the world, you will be inflicted with the same customer journey. This is what Uber was able to do. We were all hailing the cab in the same way. That's how they could become a global phenomenon. So innovators find the performance under supply and question it and convert it into a problem and solve it. Right? This is the key. So this is what we call as the zoom in pivot.